Get ready to plunge into a somber and distressing enigma that echoes through time. On March 26, 1998, the innocence of a 13-year-old boy, Tristan Brübach, was brutally snatched from the world, leaving a trail of unanswered questions and a void that lingers to this day. Join us on this dark journey, where every detail is a piece of a macabre puzzle. Tristan, after leaving school due to back pain, boarded a bus, heading towards an uncertain destination. Witnesses saw him, but soon he vanished, evaporating like smoke in the midst of the afternoon. In this episode, we will analyze the mysteries surrounding the disappearance and death of Tristan Brübach. We will explore the last hours of his life, examine the clues left behind, and question the failures that allowed this heinous crime to remain unpunished for so long. Prepare to be consumed by anguish and perplexity. Questions still remain that haunt our souls. What happened to Tristan Brübach? Who was the dark mind behind this brutal act? Where were the failures in the investigation that allowed the killer to escape? What dark secrets hide in the streets of Frankfurt? Join us in this search for answers. This is not just a recounting of a crime, but a dive into the depths of the human soul, where darkness and fragility intertwine. Hello everyone, welcome to the True Crime Files Investigations channel. If you are a lover of real criminal stories, get ready for an exciting marathon. Every week, we will explore shocking and remarkable cases, the most complex and intriguing ones, with an in-depth analysis of the details and motivations behind each event, which leads us to question human nature. Subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos, and ensure you're always up to date with our exclusive content. Leave your like to strengthen our community and motivate me to bring more and more impactful and unprecedented stories. Get ready to discover the backstage of the crime world, learn about the failures of the judicial system and the stories of victims fighting for justice. Welcome to an investigative and emotional journey. I count on you on this journey. The truth is about to be revealed. So, fasten your seatbelts, because the investigation begins now. On the afternoon of March 26, 1998, the life of Tristan Brübach, a boy of just 13 years old, was tragically cut short. After feeling a discomfort in his back, he decided to leave school early, returning home around 13 hours and 30 minutes. One of his classmates saw him board a bus bound for the Frankfurt Hawks train station. Shortly after, between 14 hours and 14 hours and 20 minutes, a friend of Tristan, who was also on a bus, spotted him through the window. He tried to get his attention, but without success. Concerned, the friend got off at the next stop and went to the train station, hoping to find Tristan. However, after searching for him without success, he returned home, apprehensive. A witness, who was also heading home, reported seeing Tristan sitting alone on a bench at the train station, between 14 hours and 15 minutes and 14 hours and 25 minutes. This was the last time Tristan was seen alive. Tristan Brübach, born in Frankfurt am Main on October 3, 1984, was the son of Iris and Bernd Brübach. Tragedy had already marked his life when, in 1995, his mother took her own life, leaving him in his father's care. Tristan grew up in the suburban neighborhoods of Höchst and Unterliederbach, on the outskirts of Frankfurt. Despite his shyness, he had a great love for animals, especially his pet rabbit. It was common to see him approaching strangers walking their dogs, eager to talk about their pets. Tristan lived with his father in the Höchst district of Frankfurt. The loss of his mother, when he was just 11 years old, shaped his personality, making him an introspective boy, but with a special fondness for animals. His walks through the neighborhood streets were marked by conversations with strangers about their pets. The last time Tristan was seen alive was around 3:20 p.m. in Bruno as Channelage Park, in front of the Höchst station. Shortly after, around 4 p.m., children returning from school found his lifeless body in a pedestrian tunnel on the banks of the Litterbach River. Tristan had been brutally assaulted and mutilated. The cause of death was a deep cut to his neck, which severed his spinal cord. The killer also removed his testicles, buttocks, and part of his thighs. The murder weapon, a concrete block, was found near the body. In the search for answers, investigators questioned witnesses and found 3 teenagers who claimed to have seen someone crouching in the tunnel. The distance prevented the identification of the attacker, but they provided a description that allowed for the creation of a composite sketch. The killer had placed Tristan's body on a concrete block and pulled his jacket over his face to hide it. Tristan's pants were pulled down and his shoes were placed on his hips and thighs, in an attempt to conceal the mutilations. Police believe Tristan knew his killer or was lured into the tunnel under a false pretense. The crime scene indicated that he was attacked near the river and dragged into the tunnel, where he was brutally mutilated. Tristan's school books were scattered around the crime scene, but his backpack disappeared. A bloody fingerprint was found on one of his notebooks, and police determined that the killer cleaned a serrated blade knife on the same notebook. A year after the crime, in March 1999, Tristan's backpack was found in a forest 25 kilometers from the crime scene. Inside the backpack, there was a road atlas of Germany and, strangely, a Czech dictionary, a language Tristan did not know. Police investigated possible leads in the Czech Republic and Slovakia, but nothing was found. Authorities, in search of a pattern, theorized that the most likely suspect would be a man between 20 and 30 years old, with a disheveled appearance and a distinctive feature, a cleft lip or a large scar on his upper lip. Several witnesses reported seeing this man, including a 12-year-old girl, who saw him walking through the Litterbach tunnel, where Tristan was later murdered. The girl stated she saw the suspect around 3:50 p.m., half an hour after the crime, leaving from behind a bush. According to her, the man was wearing a hat and had his hair tied in a ponytail. A week later, a paralegal claimed to have spoken with a man of similar appearance, who told him he had just been released from prison and had already been involved in trouble. The paralegal referred the man to another law firm, specializing in criminal law, but he never showed up. Shortly after, a teacher who gave private lessons to Tristan stated she had seen the boy in the company of a man very similar to the composite sketch, a few days before the murder. She was also certain she had seen him several times before the incident. The investigation took an unexpected turn when an American woman declared that her German ex-husband was Tristan's killer. However, 7 months later, she recanted, admitting she had lied out of revenge, and was fined for false accusation. The day after Tristan's funeral, on April 7, 1998, a man called the police, claiming to be the killer. He said he would be waiting at the Hawks train station and described himself as a man 1 meter and 80 centimeters tall, with long black hair. Police went to the station, but the man never appeared. In October 1999, a macabre act shocked the community. An unknown person broke into the Hawks cemetery at night and attempted to exhume Tristan's body. Fortunately, the coffin was not opened. Although some believed the intruder was the killer, police concluded it was a person with mental problems, with no connection to the crime. In 2002, authorities conducted a fingerprint collection operation, inviting all men between 15 and 45 years old from the Hochst and Unterliederbach areas, as well as commuters who frequented the Frankfurt Hawks train station, to provide samples. However, none of the fingerprints collected matched those found at the crime scene. In 2008, 2 former prison employees claimed that a man who matched the composite sketch had served time there. An investigator analyzed several prison files, but only had access to those who had already been released. Despite sending requests to over 400 penitentiary centers, he received responses from less than 80, and no viable leads were found. On May 19, 2016, a new suspect emerged, Manfred Seal. The police began investigating him after his daughter found, among his belongings, human remains and diaries with graphic descriptions of murders. Seal was suspected of having killed between 5 and 9 women, mainly sex workers or those with mental health problems, between 1971 and 2004. Unfortunately, he had already passed away in 2014. Although he lived in the same area as Tristan and kept genital organs of some of his victims, there was no concrete evidence linking him to the case, and he was ruled out as a suspect in October 2017. Various theories have emerged over the years. Some suggested that Tristan might have been involved in drug trafficking and had problems with a local gang. Others pointed to the possibility that he had witnessed a crime, been a victim of sexual assault or prostitution. Some young people speculated that Tristan might be gay and had lied about his back pain to meet a man in the tunnel, where he was attacked. Witnesses reported seeing a man named Joachim pursuing or observing Tristan, but this information was never confirmed. A woman, who claimed to be the last person to see Tristan alive, said that he sat next to her on a park bench, smoked a cigarette, and chatted briefly with her. As she left, she looked back and saw two men sitting with Tristan. The bench was 500 meters from the crime scene. Tristan's father passed away in 2015, and the family did not have the means to maintain the boy's grave. Fortunately, a public collection allowed for the construction of a memorial in his honor, which was inaugurated in March 2018. Currently, a reward of €20,000 is still in place for anyone who provides information leading to the capture of Tristan Brübach's killer. Thank you so much for watching this story. Your presence and support are essential for me to continue creating quality content. So, if you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new episodes. Your subscription and comments are fundamental for me to keep bringing quality content. Leave your opinion in the comments, always with respect for the victims, and together let's build an even better community. Thank you so much for following my work, and I'll see you in the next episode.